Okay, this is word problems with linear equations. Example 1. The length of a barn needs to be 6 feet longer than twice the width. The perimeter of the barn must be 84 feet. Find the length and the width of the barn. It always helps me to draw a picture for these kind of problems. Since I'm talking about a barn, a rectangular barn, I'm talking about something that has some length and some width. Now, what I notice in the first sentence, and I'm going to handle each sentence separately. The length of the barn needs to be 6 foot longer than twice the width. Notice it says the length of the barn, and then it says blah, 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 some math about the width of the barn. This is the most important relationship to notice. And that is that in this problem, the length is based on the width. That means it's the width we're going to call x, because everything depends on x. And since the problem is saying the length is based on the width, then it's the width we're going to call x. Okay, that's our first step. After that, we're going to name the length based on all this math. So it says the length is 6 feet longer. So the length is 6 feet plus something. 6 feet longer than what? 6 feet longer than twice the width. Now, what did we say the width was? X. So when we talk about twice the width, we can talk about 2 times x. So notice we've just translated this math into mathematical symbols. 6 feet longer than twice the width. 6 feet longer than twice the width. Once we had a symbol for width, it was easy for us to name the length. Now you're literally done with that first sentence. And if you want, you can cross it off. We've used all the information in that sentence. The next sentence says that the perimeter of the barn must be 84 feet. So I need to dig into my memory banks and recall that perimeter means all the sides added up. So that means I'm going to take this side, which I called x. I'm going to take this side, which I called 6 plus 2x. Then I'm going to take another side, which is another x. And I'm going to take another length, which is another 6 plus 2x. So even though I only labeled all 2 sides, I end up adding all 4 sides. My width, my length, my width, my length. And it says all together, this needs to add up to 84 feet. Now I have a simple linear equation I can complete. It says 2x plus another x plus 2 more x plus another x, and then it says 6 plus 6 and of course I bring my equals sign down to my 84. Now to get x by itself, I have this plus 12. I'm going to subtract it to the other side. And I get 72 equals 6x. Then finally I'm going to divide by that 6 and get x equals 12. Now I know this got messy and I apologize for that. The key here is that when you get one answer, please realize that this problem has asked us for two separate answers. It asked us for the length and the width. So what did this x say? Well, this x, remember, was our width. So it says our width is 12 feet. We then have to put that width back in for x in order to find our length. Because remember, our length was 6 feet more than twice the width. Now that we know the width is 12, twice the width is 24, and 6 feet more than that gives us a length of 30 feet. I want to do one more example and try to keep it a little neater. This is another type of problem you'll see. Example 2. Bob makes $5 less than twice what Ann makes each hour. If they make a combined wage of $55, what is Ann's wage? So what we're talking about here is Bob and Ann. And it says Bob makes $5 less than twice what Ann makes. What I'm saying is Bob is based on Ann, so it's Ann we're calling X. Okay, now that we have, and I'm sorry, I want to write the X up here. Now that we have Ann called X, we can name Bob based on the math here. The tricky word here is the word less. When we say $5 less, what I mean is that it's something minus 5. I don't know what it is minus 5 yet, but I know whatever we put there, $5 less means we're going to have to subtract a 5. So Bob makes $5 less than twice what Ann makes. Well, we said what Ann makes was X, so twice what Ann makes would be 2X. So notice here we have this first sentence written mathematically. Bob makes $5 less than twice what Ann makes. Now that we have that first sentence out of the way, I'm going to scribble it out. My second sentence says they make a combined wage of $55. That means whatever Bob makes, which is 2x minus 5, and whatever Ann makes, added together needs to combine to $55. So what I want you to really see is our two sentences do two separate jobs. One of them helps us name our variables, and one of us helps us set up an equation. After we set up our equation, we can simplify 2x plus another x. That constant. We can move that constant. It's a negative 5. So it becomes a positive 5 on this side. We can divide that 3. And we get x is 20. Now what did x stand for? Well, when we started the problem, we said x stood for Ann's wage. Now looking at the problem, we see that the problem asked us, what is Ann's wage? We have our answer. Ann's wage is $20 per hour. Hope this helps.